The way I look at athletic development is truly based on trying to improve our athletes' ability to move more efficiently. And I've been able to implement the OHM in an effort to get our athletes to understand how to move more efficiently, but also to be able to impact their body's soft tissue system, particularly their fascial system, to better coordinate and understand how to move in the most efficient manners possible, so that they can be able to use that within their sport to try to reduce the chance of injury as well. You know what? What's unique about the OHM is that it's anybody can benefit from it. I mean, my current population that uses it is athletes, and will use it to try to help them improve their force production, improve their movement capabilities, improve their movement quality. But we've also been able to use it in certain situations to get people to feel better and get them out of pain. But we have had instances where something doesn't feel right for an athlete in terms of how they move. And we've been able to get them on it and get them to understand how to move a little bit more efficiently. And I think it's because the way that the OHM and the isokinetic nature of it allows the athlete's fascial system to be able to move a little bit more efficiently. And so the deep fascial layer and their muscle layers get to be able to slide and glide a little bit more efficiently. So there's less restrictions when they move. And then they can coordinate their movement a little bit better, which is going to help improve the information being sent up to their central nervous system. So their coordination, their movement ability, the way they feel ultimately is going to be impacted so much more. And that's beneficial not only for an athlete, who my clientele is, but also anybody who just wants to move and feel a little bit better. I think the difference between OHM and then regular free weights and isotonic equipment is completely different. I often tell our athletes, like, just because you can do something fast doesn't mean you can do it slow. And when we slow somebody down with the OHM and the isokinetic nature of it, it allows our brain and our bodies to feel the movements that we want to emphasize that much more. It allows them to feel their muscular system just a little bit more, so it allows them to have a little bit better control, so they can change their movement if they need be. And you don't get that with regular isotonic weights and free weights, or even just body weight type stuff if you're not feeling the range of motion. But the OHM is just so much different than anything else that's out there. And that's what I feel like it's a necessary part of any gym. Yeah, the OHM has been a game changer in a couple of different areas. In number one, we've done it, like I said before, from a pain management standpoint. We've been able to get athletes to feel better prior to practice, prior to competition, improving somebody's power output, improving somebody's movement quality, as well as trying to improve somebody's the way they feel and get them out of pain. Yes, the OHM is almost like a coach within itself. It's the way we implement it and the way we use it allows our athletes to sense and feel their body, and it allows them to sense and feel their movement, and it allows them to be able to control and change their movement so they can move much more efficiently. And they can see that based on the feedback that the machine gives them in terms of how they can produce force, but also the metrics that the machine gives us as well. So I often tell our interns and assistants and even the athletes themselves, I don't need to coach you when you're on the OHM, because you learn how to move in the most efficient manner possible. Because otherwise, if you can't apply force in the right positions in the right way, you're not going to be able to move. So it's almost self-correcting, and it's almost self-limiting at the same time. And self-limiting exercise is a great way to understand how to move a little more efficiently on your own. I think the OHM lends for a lot of creativity, and it lends for a lot of experimentation with the amount of exercises that you can do and perform with it for any kind of athlete or any kind of clientele, whether they're healthy, whether they're injured. because it's completely three-dimensional, like, which is the way we move through our environment. Like, you can obviously do things within the sagittal plane, with the frontal plane, but what's really unique about it is how you can move in the transverse plane, or also combine movements that are very similar to sport, or similar to the way that you would navigate through your environment. There's a lot of creativity that comes into play. There's a lot of options that come into play that are much more unique than traditional cables and traditional free weights that most people would train with. The first thing that they'll often notice is how unstable they are, in terms of if we ask them to move forward or walk backwards or whatever the movement is. But as they do rep after rep, they start to move a little bit more efficiently, and they start to feel better. When they get off of it, they're like, wow, I feel so much looser. I feel lighter. Like, that's often the feedback that we get, is I feel lighter. My legs feel easier to move. We've done instances where we've done some sprints on it, and then we'll do sprints without it. And every single time they're like, wow, I feel like I'm flying right now. I feel explosive. So that's usually the best words to describe it, is loose, light, explosive. And if you understand sports, that's the way you want to feel.